Hello, my name is Katrine Sporle. I am the Property Ombudsman and I'm delighted to be here this morning. Thank you very much for inviting TPO to participate in your online seminar. I had the privilege and pleasure of addressing managing agents through last year's seminar at the QE2 Conference Centre, and in fact this will be my last public appearance before I retire, which I do at the end of this month. And at that point, I pass the baton on to Rebecca Marsh, who is with me today.
Thank you, Katrine. Hello, everyone. I was very excited to finally begin on Monday last week, and I'm learning fast. I'm actually lucky not to have too steep a learning curve, because as you know, Katrine, by profession I am an ombudsman, and as in my previous role as Chief Legal Ombudsman, the sector is not entirely new to me. Property-related matters, particularly relating to conveyancing and leasehold, were the biggest area of complaints at the Legal Ombudsman. But I also know there's a lot going on in the sector, and it'd be really helpful if you could give me a sense of the big issues that TPO sees.
Okay, I think it's wonderful, Rebecca, that you're here, and I'm sure that your appointment is because of your experience. What I will do is just concentrate for the minute on workload and issues. So I'm afraid, as always, complaints go up, not down, and I know you've had this in your previous role. We are seeing a rising number of inquiries year on year, which in itself results in a rising number of escalated complaints. So obviously we audit our figures every year. So to 2019, we had 820 complex complaints, of which 49% were supported. We made awards totalling £114,000, and the average award was £273. Now, in terms of the overall causes of complaint, there are four main areas: best practice, complaint handling, and service standards for maintenance, service standards for service charges.
Thank you, Katrine, that's really interesting. Katrine, can you tell me what areas we can provide direct help to managing agents in?
I can actually. We've done a huge amount of work over the last year in a number of areas. Two particular pieces of work which are now coming to fruition and which I'm delighted to say to you can launch as the new Ombudsman are, firstly, the development of a complaints handling toolkit for managing agents, and secondly, the introduction of a complaint portal which is specifically designed to help leaseholders decide whether or not they should make a complaint, they're ready to make a complaint, and actually to whom they should make that complaint. But I think the biggest single improvement could come from agents using the complaint handling toolkit. So what we've done, Rebecca, is produce a brief for you that sets out what's going to be in that complaint handling toolkit. And I think that, if we can launch that quickly and actually get coverage for it, it will make a big difference.
Thank you, Katrine. It's really interesting. It's nice to see that it's got things like template letters, pull-out sections to give to leaseholders if their complaint is about service charges, in-house complaints procedures, and tips on how to handle complaints professionally. These are the sorts of things that it's really ideal and simple and straightforward for people to get to grips with and make their lives easier. But also, it'll give complainants confidence that they're getting a consistent service and an appropriate response. It looks excellent. Thank you. Katrine, we know that life is easier and better for everybody when people have trust and confidence in agents and in the wider sector. We're always keen, as you've demonstrated, and as the toolkit demonstrates, to work with people, to support them and to help them, particularly around the complaints handling. But actually it seems to me that the standards issue is wider than just having good complaints handling, and that standards and people's understanding of what to expect from the service is as important, if not more so. Can you tell me a little bit about what's happening on that?
I couldn't agree more, Rebecca. I think if I start by just briefing you on the fact that there has been a major report. So the Regulation of Property Agents report was developed with a steering group. It was published in July last year. It was chaired by Lord Best. It had the membership was very wide, including IRPM. And what that report did was to say, as one of its recommendations, that there should be an overarching code of practice. There were 53 recommendations in that report. What we have done at TPO and in partnership with the RICS is to get together to suggest that the entire sector collaborates to develop an overarching code of practice. And I'm really delighted to say that work has gone on apace and that we've done a consultation on an overarching code of practice based on the principles set out in Lord Best's report, and that we've had a very positive response. Now, I'm sure that Andrew Bulmer would have covered this elsewhere, but I think it's worth saying that it takes standards to a completely different level. It's about really raising standards above and beyond legal minimums. It's about making clear that the sector's focus should be not just on providing good service, but providing good service in a way that protects consumers so that, as you say, they can have trust and confidence in the sector.
That's really interesting and really important, I think, in terms of the sector's success for the long term and people's confidence in that. I think it's crucial that we have those standards, and I think bringing everyone up to the level of the good is a really good thing, and having a level playing field for people to know what to expect is just makes life better, particularly for agents as much as for anybody else. Thank you, Katrine.
I agree.
Katrine, this is all very exciting, and I'm looking forward very much to working with Andrew Bulmer in supporting the sector, but also working with our consumer and industry forums on how we take all of this forward and how we make things better and easier for everyone.
I have to say, Rebecca, I think that you have a challenging time in front of you, but I found that my 5 years here was both challenging and rewarding, and I'm sure you'll find the same, and I wish you every success going forwards.
Thank you very much, Katrine.